tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads from over 200 countries and your number one source in after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello. Welcome. Kylie's playing the piano again.
Always.
Welcome to the Finding Carter AfterBuzz After Show. I'm your host, Yael Tygiel. With me, of course, Kylie on the piano.
Hi.
Kristin on the drums. Awesome. We're talking about the craziest episode of Finding Carter yet, Love Story. I'm going to start the show off with a warning that profanity will come out of all of our mouths because this episode was batshit crazy. And it's starting now, so if you have gentle ears, sorry.
Just turn the volume off and just watch our mouths move.
Yeah. Before we get into what actually happened, how are you guys feeling?
Yael and I watched the show together last night, and so she knows that I was screaming at the TV a majority of the time.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I immediately had to go home and take like a cold shower and then lay in bed and eat chocolate for a good 40 minutes to really come back to life.
Yeah. Kristin?
I was emotionally distressed most of the night. I think I had a nightmare regarding this show also, which is a whole new level of obsession.
Yeah.
And then I was emotionally distressed today as well.
Yeah, no, it was a hard day.
Yeah.
After last night. So we'll start with the episode starts where we left off, Crashing Carter, car crash or on the run. And they're talking about where they're going to go. And of course, as soon as Crash says, I want to be a farmer, I was like, I know where this is going.
No.
And they are headed to California to be pot farmers.
I liked Crash until once this episode started, I immediately was like, Crash is an idiot. I hate Crash. Something just clicked in my brain.
It took you 11 episodes.
Well, because I always defended him.
I know.
And I thought that he was gonna get smarter as the show went on, but he's actually getting dumber. Or we're finally seeing his true colors.
Yeah, Kristin.
He's just kind of a loose cannon, I feel. Like, he's just ready to blow or explode.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like he makes all these dumb decisions.
Yeah.
But I think he would make a great pot farmer. Actually, he would. I just don't think he should bring Carter.
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely could see him being
I think that that's his calling.
a pot farming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Humboldt County welcomes you, Crash. But I have to say, by the end of this episode, I was furious with him. I was kind of upset with Carter. And I think later on we see him out in the parking lot of the gas station, and just the way he was acting, I was like, you are fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I feel really bad swearing, even though I warned us that we would, but it needs to be said.
It's something. Crash was just very on a different level last night. It's like he's got a fire burning under his ass, and it's like maybe he has a secret that we don't know yet. Another secret, or I suppose we do know something really bad happened to him this week, which would be a reason for him to act so shady and want to run away from things.
Yeah.
But it seemed like the whole episode he was just antsy to get as far away as he could, and I was just a little suspicious of that, aside from the fact that he just wanted to run away with Carter.
Well, so, yeah.
I've kind of seen that from him, though, even from the birthday party. I remember thinking he was a little
Oh, you're right.
He was intense.
And he wanted to get out of town.
He was really intense. And it was like we saw this nice guy who kind of had a bad side. But I thought he was kind of a nice guy. And then at the birthday party, he started creeping me out. Like, if I was Carter, I would have been like, dude, take a step back. Because we just started dating, and now you're talking about running away to Russia with me.
Yeah.
And then now they're going to California to be pot farmers, so.
Yeah. Well, so they're on their way, and Elizabeth and David are freaking out. And I think David is not freaking out as much as Elizabeth, and it's weird. And he says to her that she's being hysterical. And she's like, I'm not hysterical. I'm proactive.
Also, I find it perfectly acceptable to be hysterical when your daughter runs away with a boy and you see that they're driving across the country.
I agree.
So the fact that he's, like, not condemning her for it, but, like, scolding her for it, a little strange.
I think all of her actions this episode were understandable.
I think they were too, but I totally I don't get him being like, why are you being so crazy? But I get him being calm because he's like, she'll come back, whatever. Like, this is what teenagers do. Because sometimes teenagers run away. I didn't run away, but some do, and they come back sometimes.
Right.
And especially with her whole history, I feel like he knew, okay, she'll come back. But I do get Elizabeth freaking out because she already did lose her. And then it's all those feelings coming back to her. Oh my God, she's gone.
Yeah. Well, so we see them freaking out some more. I'm really glad that Carter calls Taylor and Max. That made me so... Taylor and Grant.
Yeah.
I got really excited about Max and Taylor, so I skipped ahead. I love that she called them to say that she's okay. And that I really like it when a show... tells, like, when somebody discovers something and they don't keep it a secret for 3 months, they like tell them, hey, you should know this. So when she's no longer in trouble and they say, hey, you're not in trouble, because I can't stand it when a show like doesn't tell someone that.
Yes.
And so she understands that she could come back, but Crash, on the other hand, knows that he can't go back because now he's kidnapped her, kind of.
Well, and also he has a lot less to go back to.
Yeah.
That was
true.
my favorite scene, though, with them on the phone. They were so cute.
Yeah.
I felt a bond between all of them for the first time, which was really sweet to see.
Yeah. And we get to see the armadillo and elephant is still a thing. I love those nicknames. And as soon as... I love that Elizabeth barges in on this conversation and she says, I barged in. And they're like, yeah, we did not... She wasn't here. And Carter believes everyone until she's like, I'm leaving. And she knows that Elizabeth didn't leave. But I just love this whole interaction and scene. And I think Elizabeth going and making an Amber Alert, not only was it, she's an adult and a cop and a mom. She's going to go and let out an Amber Alert.
Right.
But also, like, you guys can't be surprised, really?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't. I mean, I didn't think she was going to go that far that quickly, but once she did it, I was like, oh, of course.
I can't believe she didn't already put out an Amber Alert.
I feel like I would put out an Amber Alert if my daughter ran away. How else are you going to catch her?
Yeah.
You can't just have cops running state lines trying to catch a child. Like, put out an Amber Alert. That's the easiest way.
Yeah.
I found the entire road trip with Carter and Crash to be very, very passionate. Like, it felt like they were running away to get married because every 2 seconds they were making out. Like, they started making out after they saw that there was an Amber Alert. I tweeted something about that. I was like, there was nothing sexy about an Amber Alert.
Well, so the Amber Alert goes out, and of course, Crash being...
Crash.
So it bothers me that he knows so much about being a criminal because he pulls over and is like, we got to change the license plate and we got to smash your phone because they can track us. And I'm like, these are bad signs.
Yeah.
These are signs that he knows how to run from the law, which means he's probably done it before.
But he also, we know he's been in trouble with the law before. We know that he's ran, but we also know that he's gotten caught. He's been arrested enough times that if I were Carter, I'd be like, I don't know if you should be calling the shots in this situation because you've done more time than me.
Right, like you get caught.
Yeah.
Sorry, it really frustrates me because this scene led into a really amazing and an aware discussion, I think an adult discussion, where Crash points out that this isn't a game anymore. He says to Carter, that he is now up against kidnapping charges and statutory rape.
Yeah.
And I tweeted
and
out.
we've talked about that before.
How do they know that they had sex? How is that known?
I think...
Is it just assumed? Like, they ran away together. They're probably having sex.
I think it's assumed. I think everyone knows that they're doing it.
Oh, okay.
I think also, we've talked about this before, that there's very much a small age difference, but still a legal difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're 18 and you have sex with a minor, isn't that...
That is statutory rape in California.
Yeah, I don't know
Okay.
what the rule is. Where are they? Pennsylvania
Yeah,
or something?
but... If he says it, then I'm assuming they have the similar laws. We definitely got some flack on YouTube for assuming that in all states.
Sorry, other states.
Yeah, sorry, other states.
It is. I know for a fact that where I grew up, it is also the same in
Yeah.
the Midwest.
I think it's a most states, but I know some places if it's less than like
3 years.
a certain amount of time, yeah.
And there's also others, some states they're 17.
Yeah, it's legal or
Some
whatever.
states are 14.
What?
Yeah.
What states are those?
I don't want to talk about it.
Regardless,
Yes.
Crash is screwed.
Yeah. And he says that they're near the nearest bus stop, and he's like, I'm going to take you home. And Carter's like, no, I'm in it for the long haul. And then they make out some more.
Yeah.
What part of him in this whole I'm gonna pay her bail, take her out of the state, and just keep driving and go to California? Did he think this sounds like a good plan for me at the moment? I'm on probation. I'm with a minor whose mom's a cop who just got back from being kidnapped for like 13 years. Where was it like, oh, this is good?
And he had no money.
Yeah.
No money. I was really pissed when I saw that.
Well, we'll get to the money in a
Sorry,
second.
I'm all worked up now.
Well, we see that they decide, well, where we could stay is at Lori and Carter's old apartment, which, I'm going to be honest, if I were Elizabeth's mom and I saw the direction they were driving, I would be like, hey, you know where we should check?
Where she used to live.
Yeah, she might want to go home. And luckily, there is a secret message from Lori. And I want to go on the record to apologize. I made a huge mistake last night. I thought it was a phone number on the wall.
Oh, I
looked
thought
like-
it was too. What was it?
It was not a phone number because it was only 9 digits. So it didn't have enough digits to be a phone number. I wrote it down
what
today.
is
No, wait, 9 digits?
I wrote it down. 208-864-567. We're missing one number.
Oh.
I also
Wait.
thought
Do it again.
208-864.
208. Okay, so it's the area code on the first three. Okay.
567.
Oh.
Maybe it's like a secret code that we don't know. It's a secret code for something that they know.
I don't know. I'm just saying I definitely
Interesting.
Maybe.
tweeted out and was like, I know what this is, the phone number. You people are dumb.
Yeah,
but it's
Latitude and
not.
longitude.
Well, that's interesting
short.
because I assumed it was a phone number too, and I was really frustrated because I was like, why wouldn't Carter try and go find a payphone and
Right.
call that number?
'Cause it's not a phone number.
It's not a phone number. Ugh. All right,
I
you win.
I wanted it on the record that I made that mistake.
A debit card number. I'm trying
No,
to.
it's too short.
Yeah. Well, it is a secret code. And so they spend the night where Carter and Lori used to live. Before we get into the scariest parts of the episode and move on, I want to take a moment to thank everyone for rating and reviewing on iTunes and YouTube, commenting and discussing with us, tweeting with us last night. We really appreciate it. We clearly love the show, and there's only like 2 episodes left this season.
Oh my God.
And then we have a whole new season next season. I'm so excited. But I just want to say thank you because we do this because we clearly love the show. We're over-invested. We're discussing the number of digits in a code. So thank you, and please continue to rate and review to let us know what we're doing well, what we could be doing better, what you think the code is. Yeah, that
I
would be
want to
helpful.
know what
'cause-
people think the code is.
Because our fans are
Someone
smart.
will figure it out.
They
Yeah,
figured out
they've-
all sorts of things
Yeah.
that we have not figured out.
The
So they're smarter than
bracelet,
us.
You guys
Yeah.
are on it.
Yeah, so thank you. Let's get back to the craziness of the episode.
I can't.
Well, Max and Taylor are having a moment at Max's
sweet.
place, and he gives her a key, and it's so romantic.
Is anybody else concerned with the pace that this relationship is moving now?
I
any-
said the same thing on Twitter, and people responded and said,
No.
Max Lore, which is Max and Taylor,
Was that what it's?
they're the exception. And I
Okay.
will say, I agree.
But he is her first boyfriend.
Yeah.
He is, but also, like, she's wise, and she's, like, wise and naive at the same time.
I mean-
she's,
Yes.
like, you know, she's
If
just...
it was anybody, I guess he's a good one to move
Yeah.
fast
Yes.
with. It's not like she's making a mistake with some douchebag.
I mean, they're not really moving fast in the terms of like, well, now I want to do it. Now I want to move in together. Now you're giving me a
That's
key. It's more of like a,
What if they elope?
that would be,
His bedside in the hospital.
wait, calm down.
Just got really excited about a possible plot.
Sit down.
Sorry.
I can't even handle that right now. That would be too fast. I think him giving her a key. I think the fact that they slept together, they're teenagers and they think they're in love. That happens all the time. I'm not even
I have
surprised.
another question, though.
Yeah.
Max and Carter are the same age, correct? Because
I think he's older.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Because I thought we heard something on last night's episode, I don't remember exactly what it was, that insinuated that he was 17 also.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, I
Because
thought
I want to know
but I
how
don't
he
know.
rented an apartment. Because
Well, you can have parents
Yeah.
co-sign.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, and his parents said whatever, if you get a job and
You
get your
can
own
live
place, you can
there.
live there. His parents don't seem to care. I think his parents are pot farmers.
Yeah.
I
I could
like
see
to meet
Max being a
Max
better
here.
pot farmer than Crash.
Or like a duo team.
I think Crash would be a good pot farmer. I think Max would be a good tester of product.
Yeah.
Crash would be the hustler and the dealer.
No, Ophi would be the dealer.
Oh, you're right. Oh my God. This whole
got a
cast
whole-
could run a whole pot farm.
That's true. We'd have Taylor
Bird
doing
could-
the books.
Bird could do the marketing because she's creative. Like,
Yeah.
she could paint things.
What would Carter do?
She just,
Ugh, no,
she's
don't
King
get involved
Carter.
in
She
business
just
with her.
gets to
She's
boss
gonna
people.
be
CEO.
she delegates.
I feel like any business she would be a part of, it would immediately go down the tubes because that's kind of what happens in everybody's life when they let Carter in.
I know.
We're
I'm
not
salty
Max.
right now. I'm so salty.
Well,
not Max.
sorry.
Did you see this episode?
I forgot. I was so excited about the key. I don't want to talk about what happens next. Okay.
Well, they were
We have to go
adorable.
there.
We
Well,
fell
let's-
in love with them just a little
Yeah.
bit more if it was possible.
Max
Yeah.
and Taylor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Although, well, okay. So, I don't want to even talk about it. So Crash reveals why they have no money because he was a moron who bought a gun. Luckily, Carter learned something from her mother, which was gun safety.
But
Good
apparently not. Because before she went into that, didn't they make a pit stop before they stopped at Max's?
Yeah.
She, put the safety on it, and then they didn't touch it since. And then later on, he thought the safety was on it. It
He
wasn't.
had it in his back, in his jeans, though. He probably screwed with it.
Maybe.
He's
I've never
dumb.
held a gun before, and I don't ever want to, so I'm not really sure how easily a safety could be switched. But to me,
have-
that made me question if Carter really knew what she thought
wait,
she did.
Kristen, who
Go
knows
for it.
guns?
Yeah.
I do know guns.
More so than the two of us, at
Well,
least.
I did go on a date to a shooting range. And
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in San Diego, but that was here, just like a couple months ago.
You're not the first person actually I know to do that.
It's so fun. Anyways.
Okay.
A shooting
it's a
range is
thing.
different than
Yeah.
buying a gun and
It's not like if we
throwing
were
it
shooting
around.
paper. It's not like we were shooting
Okay.
animals. I would never do that. I love animals.
Okay.
Anyways, all you have to do to
Poor
get
Yael.
the safety off is like, that's all. It's just like a.
So
I think it depends on the type of gun.
Yeah, but that looked kind of like the gun that I shot, so I'm just gonna assume it's the same kind.
So say
I'm sorry, that's just the greatest statement ever to have on Finding
It looks
Carter.
similar.
It's like the gun that I shot last week.
say that the gun, the safety is like that. Would you say that by sliding it in your pants pocket, that could jiggle it or
I mean, if
make
you're
it
dumb,
ajar?
yeah.
Well,
Crash
yeah.
is not
Yeah.
known for having the highest IQ.
Or like,
so.
yeah, I could totally see that happening. I mean, I'm not saying
So-
I'm not saying it would be easy. Like every time you stick a gun in your pants, you're not gonna take the safety off.
What, did
but-
nobody see 8 Mile where he accidentally shot himself in the foot? Come on.
Oh, that movie.
Well, so, all right. Well, at least she knows how to get the magazine out, which was nice. And
Wish she had done that before.
Well, I think Crash. Then I think he took off the safety
Really?
because he had to put the bullets back in.
Oh, yeah. Someone at that store should have taught him how to use that thing.
That's not what happens when you buy a gun.
Oh, really?
If I were
they
Crash,
should implement that.
They just
maybe.
give it to you. Yes.
I'm just gonna put this out there. If I were Crash and I was gonna rob a gas station, I would be way too frightened that I would accidentally shoot somebody, and I would trust that people would be scared enough just seeing a gun that I
Yeah.
wouldn't ever have to do anything. So I would just empty it,
Right.
Why?
or do like what movie is it where they like put a marker to the back of someone's head?
Why do you
That's a lot of
even?
Why'd he go in with the gun? We'll get
Well,
there.
not even go in with a gun. Why do you even have to point it at somebody? If you want to prove that the safety's off, point it at a wall.
Yeah.
Why do you point it at a person?
Oh, I'm getting the chills.
Okay, so let's quickly get
hate
there
it.
because we want to talk about it. So Carter sees the message from her mom, says to Crash, hey, we need to go give a message to Max to give to my mom. So they go visit Max. And we have this amazing scene where Max is so giggly and happy to see her. He's glad that she's coming back. He's so great. And he's really trying to convince her to come home. And I wish that conversation could have gone better. I wish she would have decided to come home. And Crash, we see sitting in the car, acting really paranoid and squirrely and like freaking out, maybe having some sort of, emotional argument with himself.
I feel like he was having like an anxiety attack almost.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like he has something. No, I don't want to. Like, he has some kind of mental health
Something.
thing going on. Like, I mean, I don't know what it could be, because this whole time, the past few episodes, something has been off about him. And I feel like maybe there's a little bit of something he needs to get treated for, because there's something not clicking right in his head about a lot of the things he does, and it's not just I'm young and stupid.
I don't know. That's a very good
Good theory.
theory.
Thank you.
I think he was very agitated. He seemed a little paranoid. He
Well,
seemed
Jill
like
will
he was
do that
having,
too, I guess.
yeah, maybe panic attack, all sorts of things. And there are some odd sounds coming from the booth. It's like they're
Our engineers are like, we can't handle
Yeah.
what's coming up. They
'Cause
know
they
what we're
know.
going to talk about.
they're as heartbroken as we are. So Crash comes in to the gas station, and he says, into the store, and he says, give us all the money from the register. And Max is like, no. He's like, well, what if there was a stick up? And then he pulls out the gun, and he's like, look, the safety, boom. Oh my gosh.
Do you think maybe he took the safety off on purpose? Bad thought. I know. Bad thought.
I don't think so.
You don't think? I mean,
I don't think he...
New.
Well, it's kind of weird that he was suddenly so hostile towards Max. That was actually a thought I was having before he pulled out the gun, because they, like, always seemed like they were friends, or at least amicable.
I think I think there was a jealousy thing between him and Max.
Oh, okay.
About Carter.
That's valid.
Especially because she went in to just drop off something and had been in there for a while.
And Max is basically the only barrier keeping him from having Carter and running off with her at that moment.
Yeah.
Oh, but the gun! Oh! You saw me on the couch. We both screamed.
Yeah, we were both
we
really
knew it
upset.
was about to happen, and
Yeah.
we both were, ah!
It's weird. Both of us, unfortunately, got it spoiled, and we're
Yeah.
still shocked and upset. And then I gotta say, the scene, the way it was shot, with Crash being like, we gotta go. Like, we're not calling the cops. I'm out of here. And we see the video footage of the security cameras.
Yeah, that was good, because we're going to
yeah.
probably reference that later on.
Yeah, and Carter all upset on the body, crying, screaming. Amazingly shot scene, amazingly well done. Amazing performance by Kat. Really just amazing.
I kind of thought that this whole episode,
Yeah.
I was thinking, man, she's a really versatile actress.
Yes.
Great. Yeah.
It's no wonder they cast her.
Yeah.
Good job.
I hated this scene.
It was really heartbroken.
Why? I don't understand why Crash. I get why Crash didn't want to call the cops, because he just shot someone.
What?
But
Yes.
he could live with himself knowing he shot someone and left him to die.
Yes, apparently he could.
Because I feel like in that situation, you call the cops no matter what. Or even if he wants to run, you call the cops, say someone's been shot on that burner phone, leave it, and hightail it out of there if that's what you want to do. But you can't just leave someone to die.
He's also not that smart, and he
true.
might have also been thinking that they would have been able to trace, like, if he hadn't known that there were cameras in that gas station, they would have somehow traced that he was linked to it, whether it was fingerprints on the phone or recognizing his voice.
Or the gun itself.
Or the gun, yeah, if it's
he had
registered in his
already-
name. I don't know
Yeah.
how that works, but that could also
Yeah.
be it. I mean, yeah, he's screwed.
Yeah.
He's screwed either way.
Yeah. I think it's really upsetting.
Ugh, this is not the direction I wanted the show to go.
Well, we get to the hospital, and Carter is distraught. the detectives show up to ask questions. And we have this really weird scene of the detectives just rapid fire questioning her, not letting her answer a single question.
I loved Elizabeth in that scene, though. She was such a, rock for Carter.
Carter says, I want you to come with me. And she goes, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, Mama Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mama Bird.
I think that scene was from Carter's perspective, too. They probably weren't tell me, sugar, who had the gun? What was your boyfriend doing? Why were you running away? I don't think it was actually like that, but that was how she was perceiving it. And also, I actually am surprised that they let her in the hospital. I thought it was going to be, Max goes to the hospital and she gets whisked off to a room for questioning.
Right.
So maybe Elizabeth had some pull there.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I think the next part is one of the most polarizing part. I think the audience is split. Taylor speaks up for herself. Taylor says to Carter, what the fuck? This is all your fault. This is because of you. You should have never come back to our lives. And a lot of people on Twitter were furious with this. I disagreed with them. What did you think?
I saw some people disagree with what you said the general Twitter populace was saying. One person said, and they made a good point, if it weren't for Carter, Taylor would have never met Max.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Taylor's life, granted, has been shaken completely upside down. She's no longer this shy, I don't know if I would say miserable, but not the happiest girl staying at home now. She has a social life and friends, and she's a whole new person. However, I do feel for her because I am surprised she has gotten along so well with Carter. I would totally be jealous if I were Taylor, and I would totally resent Carter, and I would 100% overanalyze every time my mom was paying attention to Carter and thinking, oh, that's attention that I'm not getting. Carter gets more attention than me.
Yeah.
So
and
I can feel for her.
Also, Carter makes a lot of bad decisions that affect Taylor.
Yeah.
So she has a right to be upset. I mean, I don't think she should have said the harsh words that she did say, but she does have a right to be upset because Carter's screwed a lot of things up for her, and it's true. And if she had just been a little bit more manageable or made a little bit better decisions or maybe thought through before she did some things, maybe she wouldn't it wouldn't screw, and it always screws with Taylor. And it's not, Carter doesn't feel the repercussions, Taylor does.
I think that Taylor needed to say what she said. I think those harsh words needed to be said. Carter, no one has put her in her place yet.
That's
she is
true.
still King Carter, calling the shots, telling Elizabeth that she has to reveal her secret to David, telling David he has to let her come back into the house. She is King Carter, and I think Taylor was finally like, you're being a bitch and you're being stupid. You brought this terrible thing into our lives.
Carter's been really selfish.
Yeah. I think that's what happens when you go from an only child to the most loved child in a different family. You know what I mean? You went from, you're the only child, so you're going to be a little bit spoiled because there's no one else to share the attention, to you've been missing for 13 years. We're going to give you all the attention. I think it was a really amazing scene. I think Taylor needed to say what she needed to say. I think Carter needed to hear it. But yes, Carter, should grow up a bit and make smarter decisions, and maybe now she will. Hopefully she'll be grounded, at least.
More than that.
Yeah. Were there any other things you wanted to say about this episode?
I just want to go into predictions. I have so many things.
All right, I think it's time for predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
You don't
I
like
love that.
Wait, I feel like there should be a dance to predictions.
We'll make one.
All right, Kylie, I feel like you have a lot you want to say.
There's so many different options that this episode could go, or the season could go. First of all, I do not think in any direction that this season takes, I do not think Max will die. No. They need him as a character, and there would be more drama if he lived. On that note, I still like my idea about Max and Taylor getting married bedside. Kind of like A Walk to Remember, young couple in love, one of them is dying, quick put a ring on it before they die.
And then he
That
makes a
kind of thing.
miraculous recovery.
Yeah.
Oops,
Here's
we're married.
another route I see happening. I see Max being in like either a really long coma or amnesia, and he doesn't remember anybody.
Ooh.
And then Taylor's like heartbroken because he doesn't remember her. He only remembers like life before the Wilson family. Is that their last name? Wilson? I forgot.
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, Detective Wilson. Yeah.
I don't know what their name is. We refer to them as
I know. We was
first names.
whatever.
Yeah. Interesting.
I also have one thing to say. This isn't predictions.
Yeah.
But David was like weirdly
he was like
accusatory at the hospital, right? Wasn't it Taylor was like, "We need to talk" or something, and David was like, "Yeah." Is that what? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
You and I were both like, "Why is David being so shady?"
you and I were talking about when Elizabeth puts out the Amber Alert, and he was like, "Why would you do that?" And you and I were like, "Why are you not upset? You are a parent."
That's true. There was something. He also had a reaction in the hospital. I was like, "This is a weird reaction for him. He should be falling apart as a father."
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I did.
Anyways, you go ahead. I've said too much.
I did love Grant in the hospital, though, since we're talking about that. I loved Grant. He was so cute. He was, like, comforting Carter. He was just being so sweet, adult Grant again. But
That's amazing.
Grant's
I
a
just
good
think
guy.
he's adorable, and I found his Instagram, and he is so cute. Like, he's going to be such a little heartbreaker in a couple years.
What a couple of years.
I know.
I'm sure the little girls
Already.
are all over that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Zach Pullum is his
Yeah,
name.
he's adorable. Like,
Do
if
you have
I
any
had a child,
predictions?
I would want her to date him.
Or do you just want to keep talking about him?
I just want to keep talking. I do have predictions. I think that Max will get better. I think that he's going to have some issues with Carter, though, because well, he
no
better.
shit.
Yeah.
Because I think she put him in kind of a crappy situation.
Oh, did she?
It's like she almost pulled a gun on him.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't do
It's
that.
kind of like she got him shot.
facilitated it.
Yeah.
We're just like grilling Kristen. We're like, go on. Yes.
That's all. I don't even know.
I know. This episode was...
I can't even make a prediction because.
Do you think that he's going to
there's
die?
No, absolutely not. I think that MTV knows that too many people would be upset, and I think that he is adorable, and that there's too many people rooting for him and Taylor.
Story-wise, you can do so much more with a character that's alive than dead.
Yeah.
Unless they put ghosts into this factor, and I don't think this show has ghosts.
Yeah, and unless
That'd be
for some
awesome.
reason
That would be,
he
but-
had to leave the show because he had like a movie or something, or like
Wow.
something.
Or, well, wasn't he on?
He's on the Fosters.
Fosters?
Yeah.
I thought he was off that too, but I don't know.
He's in and out. It's yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think. Ooh, I have so many thoughts.
Go for it.
I think Max is definitely going to live. I don't think he's going to have amnesia, and I don't think they're going to get married.
Man!
I think Crash is going to come to Carter for help, and she's going to have to decide if she's going to help him or not.
Oh, that'll be an issue.
Yeah, I think Lori is going to appear, and Carter's going to be like, I've fucked up this family so much. I'm just so out of here. I can't keep doing this to them. I am terrible because of what Taylor said. She's right. And go off with Lori. That's how I think the season will end.
That would be amazing.
That would be crazy.
And
Oh, yeah. I'm also surprised we didn't see Lori this episode. I was
I know.
expecting
I was hoping
Yeah.
to.
for her to somehow pop in.
we have not had enough Lori this
No,
season.
more Lori.
We also could
We want more
use
Lori.
a lot more Kyle.
Oh, give me some Kyle. And you know what? Let's throw his son into the mix. Give me some Gabe, too.
Yeah.
I want some father-son action. Like,
Do you?
them, like, going out and being
Oh,
met. No.
that's what you meant.
I'm also surprised that Kyle wasn't a part of, like, hunting down Carter. Like, she didn't call him and be like, I'm going to stay home and be the headquarters. You go out and start looking for him on the streets.
Yeah, I agree. It was weird that Kyle wasn't there. Also,
Yeah.
it made me sad. Also, I feel like we haven't had enough Gabe.
No,
And
no,
I'll
not
tell you
enough Gabe.
this. If Max does die, God forbid, people, I'm just saying if, I could see Taylor leaning on Gabe.
That
Yes.
would be sweet.
And then she'll break his heart and ruin things. I'm so salty right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just bitter.
We're all really upset about
You know
this.
what, though? Maybe even if he is in a coma or something, she'll end up leaning on Gabe for support anyways. So Max is, like, dying-ish. So he's there for a long time, and
Yes.
she's getting close to Gabe because he's there for her and he's supporting her.
Yeah, I want
and then
that.
he wakes up and she's like, "Oh my God, I thought you were gonna die. You've been in a coma forever, but I love Gabe now." That's it. That we.
Yeah.
Wait, a minute ago, did you say Taylor would get with Gabe? Or Carter would get with Gabe?
Taylor.
Oh, man, I totally thought you were talking about Carter. That's why I was like, she ruins everything.
No.
Sorry.
I
Taylor
think
doesn't ruin anything.
No. I was
My
saying
bad,
I
yeah.
like that Max
I
would be in a
do-
coma.
I do like
and
that
then
as well.
Taylor and Gabe get closer, and then they kiss
should
and he
just
wakes
write
up.
this
Yeah,
show.
we're writing the show, guys.
Emily Silver, if you are listening, have we got some ideas for you?
Emily
Plans.
Silver, you should join us on the show.
Yeah.
Take some of our ideas. We've got a lot going on in our heads.
More Kyle. On that note, I think this has been a crazy episode. It's been very heavy. Kylie, tell people where they can find you and talk about this.
You can find me morning on Twitter and Instagram at the Kylie Hodges.
Morning with you.
Yeah.
I was like, in the morning.
No, MOUR and whatever. I'm sad about Max. That's what I mean.
You can find me on Twitter at Kristin Strange and on Instagram at Kristin Aubrey Strange.
Awesome. And you'll be there morning as well.
You'll see a lot of those emojis with tears running down their face.
I'm all about
Yeah.
the emojis.
Yes. And you can find me online at yael.tv. There you'll find info about the beautiful stylings from Siren's Boudoir. You can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google+. I will be on all those places talking about how heartbroken I am and how we need more Kyle. And the username for all those is Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And we will see you next week for hopefully a more uplifting Finding Carter.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.